Appreciation. Mo dúpẹ́, oníkú ọ̀rẹ́ bàbá gbọ́ ọpẹ́ mi. Appreciation. Mo dúpẹ́, oníkú ọ̀rẹ́ bàbá gbọ́ ọpẹ́ mi.
The story behind them was I actually started with this book first to talk about my purpose, my why I'm very driven about education in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, and then my backstory, my family. And then as I started writing this book, I was taking a course and I listened to someone else who also is in the education space, but is not an educator and does not have the experience of being an educator like me. And I asked myself that someone who does not have that experience of being an educator, being in the space, being in the field, is writing a book about education and what to do in education to policymakers. I have experience in the field, in the classroom, and also now in the public sector. I said I should definitely write a book. I should definitely talk about my ideas, particularly around curriculum, because that's something that I happen to be an expert in. And that was why the second book started coming out. And before I knew what was happening, I started putting pen to paper, putting down these ideas, and this book was born. So I started writing this book, Bridging Two Worlds. And it was my journey about my childhood till now, the things that have shaped my journey, the people I have met, the intersections that I've come to, and the paths that I had taken at those intersections. A special example of that is the fact that today, here I am sitting now as an educator. I always told myself that I was going to be an engineer, then much later, maybe even further down than this age that I am, I will come back into education. But somehow, exactly like I said, at intersections in my life, some paths were closed and other paths were taken. So I write about that. I also write about the influence of my parents, both educators themselves, they had on me. I am the child of two professors. Well, my mom, she's, I call her a professor because the amount of knowledge that she has surpasses, what she has forgotten, I tell people, is more than I even remember and know. She's so brilliant. She's Nigeria's first female meteorologist. And my dad was a geographer and also worked in the climate change space. He was a diplomat, he worked for the United Nations. So the influence these two parents had on me, I talk about that here, and how that has shaped me being in the public sector now and giving back to my community and what I have been doing. I started this book, I believe I started this book September, October of last year, and I dropped it because my mom has been ill and I had to deal with the challenges of her illness. But while I was dealing with the challenges of her illness, it made me realize I needed to come back to this story. I needed to finish it because she's such an important part of this story, an important part of why I'm doing what I do now. Which brings me to this second book that now came about. As I was working on this one, as I said earlier, when I read out that person's policy book, I realized that my own policy book also needed to come. And I started this book in February. So if you ask me, this is the book that's actually taken the most time and has challenged me the most. Because I had to go back to my experiences, I had to go back to what I've been doing in the classroom. But here I am now with this, my policy book. So that's the story of the two books. This book, yes, the young audience could read it, hopefully draw some inspiration. In fact, one of the wonderful things that have happened during this putting together this book has been the fact that quite a number of people, strangers actually, have donated quite substantial money so that I can give this out to teachers and students. And I'm very touched by that because this story of telling my why and also giving some ideas that I have around what we can do, and also the experiences I had with my parents, I hope it will inspire and motivate our young ones, our teachers on what to do and how to go about reforming education for us. This one is more my roadmap. How would you go about doing this step by step in the classroom? What ideas, what did I do? What lessons from my own life did I utilize and learn when I was in the classroom? And also when I was in the public, well, still, now that I'm still in the public sector, what are the lessons that I've learned and I'm still learning? So I would say this more for the younger ones, the teachers, people who know me, and also our brothers and sisters, because that's what I call them, our brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora, who want to understand what it's like to come back and also contribute to our society. This book is for them. This one is more for my fellow educators, for my policymakers in education, for my teachers, for my teachers in training who are coming up. What can we do to change? I don't want to call it change, because there's a lot that's still okay, but there's some things that we need to work on, to iterate, to keep on trying and then changing and tweaking here and there in education. So I'll call it more transforming. There you go, more transforming education. This book is that. So I'm really, really grateful and I'm really proud that these two books came about, and here they are now. I, in March, wondered how possible it was to make my deadline of publishing both of them today on my birthday, and here they are. I am so happy that they're here. Your work is the most important work in the world. Everybody always remembers their first teacher, the teachers who were very difficult with them, the teachers who made a huge difference for them. Everybody always remembers teachers. Your work is the most important work in the world. This is more like my song, my gift, my joy, my dedication to you. Please, don't stop what you're doing. You are so important. I like telling people that you are the most valuable player in the world, or players in the world, you teachers. And then, to my students, our children, our youth, I want you to understand that the world now is a global place. You are here in Nigeria, yes, but it doesn't mean that you cannot be a global player. You can bridge both worlds, like I did. You can go back and forth between these worlds. You can be here in Nigeria and still work in this other world. And you can be in this other world here, and you can still work here too. So it's very possible, okay? You can do it. They're definitely on Paystack and Selar right now. And they're going to be on Amazon, I believe, at the end of today or before the end of the week. As in YouTube. But if anything, if all of this is too much to remember, please just go to the website, www.adetolasalau.com. All these social media links are all there. And we also are putting up links to be able to purchase and find the books. And then you will also see reviews from all the different wonderful people who have touched my lives in different ways, who also had things to say about these books. You'll see them there too. Thank you.